Hey, welcome to the Chris and Mike Show. He's Mike, I'm Chris, and a portion of the show is brought to you by Riverside FM, the one and only choice for your podcasting platforms. Remember, we are live on Twitch, YouTube, and streaming directly on our website at chrisandmikeshow.com. With us today, we have Eric and Candace, the impulsive duo slash the pineapple perfect.
Yeah,
correct.
This is going to be a super fun episode.
Professor Pineapple.
A super fun conversation. So for those of us that don't know who you two are, why don't you give us a little elevator ride and tell us why you're here and what you're all about and the kind of fun conversation we're going to have today.
Let's see. Well, we are, yes, the Impulsive Duo on social media. We have a podcast. We consider ourselves lifestyle or swinger, for those that don't know what the term lifestyle is. Educators. We've been in the lifestyle for a while and just kind of educate, and we're advocates for it, and we share our experiences. We own a couple apps that are lifestyle centered.
Okay.
And we just do social media, YouTube, podcasts. We travel around. We host events. What else do we do?
We help people have sex.
Apparently.
See, that's a wonderful thing, right? Because sex brings the world together, right?
We're matchmakers
and
for
anger.
other people. It's pretty much it.
There you go. So let's talk about matchmaking. How do you do that from a social media standpoint?
Well, I own Unicorn Landing, which is a lifestyle app for women in the lifestyle to connect with other women. So it's a little more women-centric or centered, and women kind of make the first move on the app. And so that kind of is where the dating, I say that we're a matchmaker. We help other people hook up more than we do. And then just when we host events, really, we always joke that everyone else comes to the events and has a good time. And Eric and I are working most of the time, or, talking to a lot of people. So we don't always get to have as much fun as they do.
And a lot of people at the events and clubs and stuff will come up, and it's usually the same thing of like, how do I play? Or we run into a lot of people that go to a lot of clubs and they've never played before. How do I play? And her and I are really good about just talking to people who are new. And then next thing you know, you get these people who have never played at a club, and now they're playing all of a sudden.
While everyone else is having fun, and Eric and I are like, cool, and then we're cleaning up our stuff. Gotcha. And so we just always joke we help other people hook up.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna back up a little bit because when you drop the phrases, I want the definition. So what's a unicorn for those that don't know?
So a unicorn is a single, typically bisexual female that will play with couples. So like if you're interested in like a three-way situation, it's typically a single female, yes, that is bisexual, will play with couples. And the Unicorn Landing app is for all women, not just single bisexual women, just for women to connect, and also single women to feel like they have a safe place to talk to couples. So yes, that is what a unicorn is.
Okay, gotcha. Mike, do you have any questions so far? Or you're just sitting there?
That was my question definition, because
he's intrigued.
Yeah.
Well, I just wonder, did you meet outside of this lifestyle? Did you decide this lifestyle together? How did this happen?
Good
in your
question.
Relationship?
So we actually met each other on Bumble. We were both going through divorces. I had just moved to Idaho, and I was new here to Idaho, and I was just trying to find what to do here and looking for friends. And as guys, as you two as guys know how hard it is to make friends, especially later on in age. So, you jump on apps, and I ended up meeting Candace, who was, going through divorce too. And so we just became friends. We became friends with benefits. Like, she became like my best friend up here. And then we kind of went our own separate way. Never talked about the lifestyle or any of that. She knew that I did social media at the time.
I was bisexual. I had kind of come out as bi and kind of wanted to explore that after my divorce, and just experiment. I mean, as you do when you're newly divorced and kind of finding yourself.
Yeah.
And so I had told Eric that I was, wanted to kind of explore that as well, and he was like, "Cool, that sounds great."
He was like, "Bummer.
And
wow,
so,
that's a drag."
Yeah. So it was something that he was like, he wanted me to have the opportunity to explore and whatever. And then when we
actually started dating.
Yeah, dating, it was kind of one of those things where it's like, we can still explore this together. and kind of just learning. When I was single and on dating apps, I had ran into a lot of couples who were kind of looking for that, a
Okay.
single girl, and I was like, oh, this is like an actual thing that people do. I didn't know a ton about the term unicorn or the term,
Right.
like the lifestyle.
Yeah.
But I have had, yeah, a lot of couples reach out to me and wanted, and so I kind of just brought that up to Eric, and we just kind of just started discussing it, and it
Okay.
just evolved over the last several years.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's evolved. It's been a process.
Okay, so the app again is called Unicorn Landing. You can find it on all the app stores.
Yeah, it's on Google
Okay.
and iOS. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was started. I started that. We've been in the lifestyle for a little bit, and I was finding that there is a lot of lifestyle apps out there, or a handful of them, and they're great. We use them all. I always tell people it's best to kind of use them all, rotate. But a lot of them are very male dominated, and men are on the profiles, and men run the profiles. And so it was just kind of a place where a lot of women didn't feel comfortable on apps. So yeah, that's kind of how it came about.
So you figured out a way to empower women in the sex forward movement. I call it sex forward movement.
Yeah.
So but you figured out how to empower women by giving them
Yeah,
more,
no, and really, I mean,
which I think is cool.
It is cool.
Yeah, I was running into a lot of women like me who were just wanting to kind of explore this new side of themselves and explore their sexuality. But they were like, where do I meet people? Where do I even meet just friends? Where do where do I find people like me kind of in this new phase of life? So that was, it was just a community to find other women, really.
Yeah, because when you get into this lifestyle and you get onto apps, like we made the decision when we first got into this lifestyle, I knew my personality, and this was for my wife to explore this side of it. And so I was like, hey, you run the apps. And it was kind of even what I didn't even realize is bad is it's very dominated by men. And there's a lot of men who don't know what this is at all about. I'm sure there's a lot of people probably watching your podcast that are like, oh, swingers, so they're not happy together. She's just getting railed on the side, all this. So you get a lot of guys who are cheating on their wives. They don't even know they're on swinger apps. Guys who they have no idea what this lifestyle really entails at all.
Yeah, I had multiple men ask me to have affairs, all sorts of interesting situations that I was running into.
Okay, so
it was one of those that she came up with this idea to be empowered.
Yeah. So shed some light to the
on what, the men's side of it, or
well, yeah, the men's side, because that obviously Candace has the app. It's driven to help empower women. Safe place on some level, right? So talk about what you just alluded to there, Eric, as far as what men think of it, or what's just like you said, what viewers are watching this now thinking you're swingers, you're not happy, you're chasing things and you're trying to fill voids and all that kind of nonsense, which we've watched enough of you to know that's not the case. But the rest of the world is going to have the preconceived notion.
Absolutely.
Yeah, the preconceived notion, even like my preconceived notion was, people aren't happy, and this is just an easy excuse to cheat. And it really isn't, because the swinger lifestyle, I mean, you're very open with your partner. You're talking about everything. I mean, we're not doing anything behind each other's back. We're consenting 100%.
Everything's together, communicating. Yeah.
Right. And it's amazing. Like, she'd be on apps, and especially when you're new, you don't want to like offend people. Like, you don't know what you're doing. You think everybody's just like you.
Okay.
And you really go into it with that almost naive mentality.
Yeah.
And so she would tell me, oh, I'm talking to this guy, but next thing you know, his wife would never get into a group chat, or she'd come up to me and be like, this guy actually goes to our gym and he wants to do me in his car. His wife just had a baby. She doesn't even know he's on the app. And we're just like, what the hell is wrong with people?
Yeah. So we're finding a lot of men were just finding it as like an excuse to lie or cheat. Or so, and there is a lot of that preconceived notion, like, oh, any girl that's in the lifestyle that's, I'm just getting railed out by a bunch of dudes, I'm not happy, I'll hook up with anybody. There's just so many, preconceived notions. Yeah. And we always tell people, everybody, or how I always tell people when they think like, why are you doing this? Why be married? So 90%, 5% of me and Eric's life is a very monogamous, normal, life. We've got kids and events and we travel and, I've got kids in sports and it's just, that's our life. We have a home together. We
Okay.
have a normal monogamous, healthy relationship.
Nice.
But everybody out there, and you're lying if you say you haven't, has had some sort of fantasy, sexual fantasy
Sure.
at some point in your life, whether it be
Of course.
with another
Yeah.
girl, with another guy, with a couple, whatever it may be. Everybody's had some sort of like, ooh, that could be
Yeah.
hot. Now imagine getting to do those things with somebody you absolutely trust, your best friend, and in a healthy way. And you're like,
Right.
and then afterwards you're like, oh my God, it's so hot. Did we just do that together? And it's like really like, it just adds this level of like spice and excitement. And I think
Okay.
people don't look at it like that. They think that it was like, oh, you're just miserable. Why are you guys even together? And that
Gotcha.
could be
It's the
further
polar
from the
opposite.
truth.
No,
Okay.
because
So-
well, it's
ahead.
the complete opposite. Because if you look at like divorce rates and stuff, because there are these studies coming out, like divorce rates among swingers are lower than monogamous. And the
Really?
big thing is you have to talk to your partner. How often do you talk to your partner about sex or problems that you're having or communicate like this? We have to talk about everything.
Yeah.
If something's not good mentally, like we have to talk about it because we're not going to go to an event and have a bad experience or blow up.
Or you can't,
Okay.
and you can't let things like fester. And
Yeah.
so you have to bring
Right.
it up right away. Your feelings, or hey, I'm feeling. And the more you do that, the more you say, hey, this made me jealous. Hey, I felt uncomfortable. I'm feeling this way. The more you do it, the easier it gets. And so
Okay.
Eric and I have zero reason or like we don't hide anything from each other because we don't have to.
Nice.
Yeah.
So here's
Yeah.
so you made a couple comments, and I have a question that's directly related to that. So you have kids, right?
Yes.
Okay. So do your kids know? Because you're so out there socially,
So-
I would think it was almost impossible not to
Yeah.
realize something.
So I know. So I have two kids. They're Eric's step kids.
Okay.
I have a now one that is now an adult child in college, and yes, they do know. We don't.
Okay.
We obviously Eric and I are in it on the business side, so of course it's like, oh, we have work events. I own an app. You
Sure.
know, they know what swinging kind of is, but we don't discuss it anything other than that. Like Eric and I are going out
Okay.
for the weekend with friends, doing something. We're like, oh, we're hanging out with friends. Like you don't discuss
Yeah.
those things with. You don't discuss what
Well,
you do in the bedroom monogamous. You don't do that.
I
in
did.
life.
Yeah, I didn't think you would. Yeah,
Yeah.
your mom and dad are going to go to this club.
But
we're gonna have
everybody's
fun.
going to have a question
And
for
so
sure.
you keep it very age appropriate.
Okay.
They know, it's kind of one of those things. It's like, you guys are adults. You do what you want. I don't care. We just don't really
Right.
talk about it more than just like, oh, we have a work event, a business event. I do
Okay.
also have a younger teenager, and they actually do not know. They know that I own an app. They know that we travel for work. We do social media, but they don't have their own social media yet. They're
Okay.
like very new teenager.
Okay.
And so we have had discussions about we are going to have adult, like we are an
Conversation.
age appropriate conversation
Yeah.
kind of about what we do because it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
But we
So
do
now-
have them blocked on
Okay.
things, yeah.
Okay. So that being said,
Yeah.
now we got the kids covered. What about your parents? Because I'm sure people are sitting there watching this, oh, I bet their mom and dads are super pissed or like freaked out by what they're doing. Now, and I
No, 'cause
understand
it's the same
that-
thing as
it's the same thing as a daughter.
Yeah, because here's the thing is just like with parents and stuff like this, it's funny because everyone looks at swinging different than they do monogamous, even though it's kind of the same
Okay.
thing. Sex is in both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not that I ever went to my parents ever and was like, oh yeah, me and so-and-so, we just rammed one out and did that, and we don't look for validation from our parents. A lot of people will talk about like talking to their kids or their parents. Like they have this coming out, like they need to be validated almost. For us, we brought it up. It's a business. It's black and white. We don't go into detail. They know that we're thriving and we have a very successful life. And so they're cool with it. And you don't really go into detail.
Yeah,
Cool.
and I did grow up very conservative, and I come from a conservative family.
Okay.
And again, I think my mom has passed, but my dad, I think it's one of those things where they see me being successful, and we own a home.
Yeah.
And my kids are happy and healthy. We don't bring any of this into our home. It doesn't involve my children.
Okay.
It's like you're happy, you're healthy. I don't care what you're doing behind closed doors. You're adults. They know I own
That's
a
cool.
business. But again, I think Eric and I have been very lucky that our parents are very supportive of just who we are as people. And as long as we're healthy, functioning members of society.
Yeah. There you go.
That we've been fortunate. I do have some extended family I don't see quite as much, and I've had like
Okay.
an uncle make some kind of rude comments.
Mm.
But again, it's funny because he'll say those things and has made some rude comments to other members of our family. Yet he is married to his ex-wife's best friend, who he was having an affair with, and that's all okay with the entire family. But I'm a disappointment.
Okay.
Great
Okay. So
point.
he's married to his
So,
ex-wife's best
For
friend.
me, it's just, I just don't tolerate that kind of hypocriticalness, and I don't need people like that in my life. So
No, agreed. Let them be what they want to be. You have any questions, Mike?
I guess most people's question would be, you answered, that you do it outside the home. How long have you guys been at this? Because I'll give you credit, you're older than I thought you were, apparently. I thought you were way younger than us. But if you have an adult child, congratulations.
thank you. Good skincare. Just kidding.
Yeah, right.
I did have my daughter young. I had her at 22. So, I mean, she's,
So
I'm actually going to be 41 next week.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
You look great. You both look great.
Yeah.
What age did you get into this so I can have a time frame and the listeners can have a time frame? And how long have you been at this? Because you've accomplished a lot and you really have explained how you've established rules and
Yeah, in just 20 minutes, you've
So
given like a whole, here's a whole nugget of everything, which is awesome.
So we've actually only been in lifestyle for 5 years, which in the reality of the lifestyle and people you meet is a very short time. We've only been together for 5 years.
Okay.
But I think that Eric and I, just because we started to be vocal about it, we never claimed to be experts. We share our own experiences. We saw how hard it was when we first got in the lifestyle to find resources, what we were doing. We had no idea where to meet people. And just sharing the real side of the lifestyle. And so we never claimed to be experts on the lifestyle, but we've also met so many people over the years and like share their experiences, things like that. Yeah. So we've only been at it for, about 5 years. So we met when I was 34, turning 35.
I was 40.
You were 40?
Okay.
Yeah, Eric had just turned 40.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you
and it was one of those things too. I mean, it comes off like, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, for lack of a better term, do you have a couple that mentored you? Like, hey, come along, we'll show you the path.
That's a great question.
No, we dove in head first.
No, that was the problem.
Okay.
Like social media, if you look at it, makes swinging look like this is super easy. Everybody's hooking up. Everybody's playing.
Everyone's hot.
Everyone's confident. There's like this is the easiest thing in the world. And so we even went into this like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. And you don't really realize the reality of it. And that was the thing that we wanted to share when we started even sharing about doing it on social media was just what was the reality of this? Because it's not what social media plays it out to be. Right. People think we're hooking up with people left and right all the time. We might play once a month.
Not even that. Played...
Like this year, we've played twice.
Okay.
Twice, yeah.
And it's March.
It's the end of March. Yeah.
So social media portrays this lifestyle completely different than what in reality it is.
And so we started sharing, the good, the bad, the ugly with it. And we think that Eric and I are a pretty average couple, like average, like looking, and we live in Boise, Idaho, nowhere fancy, big city. We, we just kind of shared like what the reality of what real life swingers were like. Like we're not off doing a bunch of porn like a lot of them are. And just that's kind of how we kind of dove head first into it, because we know that we were so lost when we started it that's why like our Facebook group, the book that we have, all of that is called Swinging for Newbies. Like we really focus on what it's like to be brand new in this lifestyle and have no idea what to do.
So you wrote a book called Swinging for Newbies? Is that what I heard?
Yeah, it's just like a little manual. It just shares a little bit about like our journey, answer some questions, things like that. It's on our website.
That's awesome.
It's an ebook. $8, $7.99.
I'm looking it up. Go ahead, Mike. Fire away with a question.
I'm just fascinated. That is not the experience that I think that most people would portray. That they have the image. You always go to the worst case scenario. Everybody thinks
Yeah.
of the nuclear family, mom, the kids, and then you start throwing this kind of monkey wrench into their thought process, and they automatically go to, you're going to the seedy place, and you're putting the kids to bed and you're doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And you just explained the exact opposite of that. So kudos to you for, like Chris said, not having a mentor and inventing this way of making it work that your kids don't even understand what's going on really. And that's kind of the way it should be.
And
Yeah, no, it's one of those that is different
Love
for
impulsively.
everybody. There isn't a right or wrong way to be in this lifestyle. There's a lot of people that are kind of like us. You get in this lifestyle because the wife, wants to experiment, or even the guy wants to experiment, or whatever it might be,
Yeah.
And there's the book, Swinging
Yeah,
for
and
Newbies.
it's just like when you try, like for instance, like you're monogamous and you go away for an anniversary weekend with your partner to somewhere romantic and sexy. You don't come home and tell your parents, tell your kids, oh, guess what your dad and I did this weekend. Like you don't. You say mom and dad went to, the mountains for the weekend and we had a great time. And that you leave it at that. And it's just like our lives, when we go to events, it's like, oh, we have a work event, or oh, we're going to go do this event we're going to whatever, Chicago for the weekend. And it's like, okay, like you don't owe anybody what you do. And so I think a lot of people forget that. And again, we are public. And so it obviously is a little harder to hide, but we always joke and tell, even like my daughter, she obviously has social media. She's an adult, and I'm like, you can block me on anything offended. Like, I don't know. And she's made a few comments and she'll be like, ew, one of your reels showed up on my For You page. And I'm like, well, don't watch it then.
Right.
And I'm pretty careful. I try not to get too graphic, more in an educational way.
Yeah. And for those of you curious, they do offer lifestyle mentoring. So again, theimpulsiveduo.com, go to the
yes, we do some mentoring, which we haven't done as much.
Right. We do have that.
I know we haven't done it in a little while, but we will. We have had calls with people, like FaceTime, Zoom calls.
Cool. That's awesome.
And we've done that just so people that have questions and just really want to. We get a lot. Sorry, our website's not that great. It needs updated.
Yeah, a lot of people overthink this lifestyle and what it is.
Okay. Our podcast,
and that's the whole thing. Is you don't have to overthink it. It's literally you and your partner going in and doing what you kind of fantasize and talk about together.
Yeah, and you may find things that you don't like. You'll find things that maybe you do like. Like we always tell people from the beginning, I mean, our journey where we started just wanting to play with girls and what we've just, it evolves and changes over time. And we go through phases where we're kind of like, you could give or take, like, but we could give or take the lifestyle, really. Yeah. Again, we have a business around it, so we're kind of involved.
Yeah.
But, we go through phases where we're
all like, hey, let's have some fun. And then we go through phases where we're like, dude, this is too much energy.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I'd rather go take a walk outside of the night.
Yeah, like I just want to spend time with my husband and go on a nice vacation. Yeah.
So I'm watching some of this stuff because, again, algorithms and whatnot. When and it comes across on the show, but it also comes across on the stuff I've seen with you guys. You're very much in love. You're very connected with each other. It just seems like this is just one of those things that kind of elevates your sex life for a small amount of time over a span of a year. You have a blast with like-minded people. You're not hurting anybody. And from what I've understand about the thing, there's full swap, there's soft swap, and so people understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm right. Soft swap is you're together in a room and there's no intercourse with the other people, where full swap is. And so full swap is kind of all encompassing everything, where soft swap is all the oral foreplay, that type of stuff, right? So what's the major?
There's parallel
go
play.
ahead.
There's so many different.
Okay, so what's parallel play?
There's parallel play. So you're playing and other people are just playing around you. A lot of people play like that at the club. They'll just play with their partner on a bed, and it's kind of hot. Other people doing it around you.
Yeah, you like the noises, and like or to be an exhibition. There's voyeurs or exhibitionists who just like to be watched or watch other people. Soft swap is there's no actual like penetration. There might be some touching, and other things, whatever you're comfortable with, and then full swap is pretty much
all inclusive.
We all do what I like.
And then there's boundaries involved.
Okay.
Where people be like, hey, we
Well,
can
sure.
swap, but this
Yeah.
or whatever.
And you always
Okay.
discuss those boundaries ahead of time, like what you are and aren't okay with. And it's a very open. It's not like you're just going into it, hooking up with people, and it's like you have to be a mature adult. We always tell people if you're not ready to be a mature adult and have the conversations about boundaries and STDs and protection and all of that, you're not ready, because you have to have that conversation with people. You have to say, here's my recent test results. I only want to use protection. I'm on birth control. What are your guys' boundaries? You have to have that conversation and be comfortable having it.
Now, here's a question that I'm sure a lot of people are curious about. So, the age-old saying, size matters. So in this lifestyle, if you guys ended up with, say, a male-female couple, right, and you're full swapping, is there any, from your standpoint, Eric, like if he's like, oh my gosh, he's bigger than me, are you concerned about that? Is that like, holy smokes, my wife's gonna like that better than me? Or is that just everybody being stupid, because it's not so much the size, it's how you use it?
Well, it has nothing to do with the size. That question, what I've always learned is it's more insecurities. That's what brings that question, because it's always guys. It's never women. That will bring up, oh, this guy's bigger than me, and this is how I think of it. It's always the guys that'll bring it up, and a lot of that is insecurities. Let's face it. When we play, I'm the first one to get naked. I've seen guys that are bigger than me. I've seen a lot of guys smaller than me. It doesn't matter. Like, this is 30 minutes, an hour of fun.
And if you're not confident enough in your relationship, I mean, like Eric's been with, women that are smaller than me, bigger chest than me, and it's like more. It's like, hell yeah, high five, we got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's. I mean, if I, how to use it.
It's more
things.
It goes back to the experience, and you're sharing something. You're sharing something that everybody's enjoying.
Yeah, I mean, you more or less. I mean, the things that you run into more or less are guys will have a harder time sometimes keeping it up, or guys will end up finishing way too very quickly.
Gotcha.
I mean, those are way more common than really sitting there going, "Oh my God, this guy's bigger than me or smaller." You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
Well, it's something new. It's a new experience. Like I call it vacation dick.
Yeah.
So you love but really, so you love your.
That's the best soundbite ever.
And you get used to your, what you're used to, and when you play with somebody else, guy or girl, whatever it may be, it's different.
Right.
It's always going to be different, bigger, smaller, whatever. It feels different.
Yeah.
It's always going to be a different sensation of some kind, and it's kind of like you get to go have a little bit of fun, but you love coming home to your partner. Now, if you're not secure enough in your relationship, this lifestyle is not for you. You have to be secure and happy and content in your relationship to even consider doing something like this. But it doesn't even faze me. Like I said, if Eric plays with somebody who I think is, way hotter than me or whatever, and it's like, heck yeah, he got to have some fun, and then we get to reconnect and talk about it. And I'm secure enough to know that my partner is not going to leave me for just 5 minutes or 30 minutes of sex. And if he does leave me for that, then our relationship would have failed, monogamous or not. And we have a lot deeper issues than the lifestyle. If my husband would leave me over something so, Yeah,
I mean, and I think more often than not, I mean, and I think it's different for everybody, but like you'll end up having an experience and you'll be like, I like sex with my wife better. I mean, it's really weird of how it always works that way. It's like, oh, this was a hot experience. This was a lot of fun. But wow, I really actually appreciate my wife even more now.
Yeah, and I tend to get not great experience. We've had some experiences that are not so great for me that I'm like, I just want to like it's fun, and like there's people touching, and like the whole experience overall is fun. You get to flirt. It's kind of, we're both very ADHD, and a lot of people in the lifestyle are. It's like a dopamine hit. You're like, you get that new fun, flirty feeling. But then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, well, I want to go home and have sex with my own husband now because he knows what I like, and it's So it's not always like the sex is better.
Right. It's more of the it sounds like it's more the adventure and the thrill of the adventure and getting from
It
point A to
is.
point B and like,
We're
whoa,
both, it's
okay.
an ADHD habit.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So what I'm hearing too, this is kind of a mute point now, because there is, correct me if I'm wrong again, doesn't sound like there's any insecurity when you guys are doing this, because you're so grounded in who you are as a couple and you have all the boundaries in place that if, like you just said, Candace, if he's having sex with somebody that you feel is much hotter than you, you're high fiving, way to go, you got to do that, and vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no, it completely, because you also know your partner well enough. Like if she moans and I know
Right.
she's enjoying it, there's like that little twinge of like jealousy a little bit. Like afterwards, I'm gonna fucking rail you out.
Yeah, you're like, fuck you.
Yeah, or there's those times where you hear your partner and you're just like, in the very beginning you don't realize this, but everybody puts on a
Right.
show. Everybody's
Right,
moaning
okay.
louder than normal,
Yeah, you
Okay.
doing
can
different
probably
moves
show.
than normal. Because let's face it, in a relationship, your sex becomes very routine.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
And so this helps break that routine. It reminds you, oh, I actually like this position, or I like to do
Hmm.
this. Shit, I haven't done this with my wife in a while. I want to
Oh.
do this with her now.
Okay.
And then you also know your partner well enough where if she's overly moanful and stuff, I'm just like, oh, she's not having the best of times.
He can
And
tell
like,
if I'm
let's
faking
swap
it.
back, or
Gotcha.
figuring out ways to keep it as fun as possible, and vice versa.
And there are definitely like those times of jealousy. I mean, don't get me wrong. We're not.
Oh, I was just
perfect.
going to ask you
There's
that.
definitely,
I
like,
was
for
just
example,
going to ask you that if you ever get
Yeah.
a hint of jealousy
Don't get
when
me wrong, like,
you're,
we met
yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah,
Go
we
ahead.
met this really pretty unicorn back in like October, November, and we had been talking quite a bit on like just text message, but like meeting up hadn't happened yet because with just life and scheduling, and
Right.
she had kids. That's just how it works too. It's also very difficult to schedule.
Mhm.
And we had talked about, we had met her in person, but we hadn't like
We
taken
hadn't-
it
we hadn't-
further
we hadn't
yet.
played with
Yeah.
her.
And we were all chatting quite a bit, and her and Eric became really chatty in a group, and I could just tell he was kind of fascinated with her. I mean, again, she was really pretty, she was cool.
Yeah.
And I was kind of having more insecure about like other things, and I had to be totally honest with him and say, hey, I just want to let you know I'm not anything like that. Like, you have to be so vulnerable about your jealousy, and like, you just have to be honest about what's making you jealous, and your partner has to have enough respect for you to listen to you and kind of validate that jealousy. And he doesn't want to hurt my feelings, he doesn't want to make me jealous. And so having conversations about it regularly keep it a lot healthier.
No, and having those conversations is really important, and it's hard. I think it's easier for women to share almost than what men are. For men, a majority of them I talk to, it's a lot harder for us to share because we're way more challenged when it comes to communicating than women. And so, like, my wife knows, because we've had discussions about it, like something that can, especially if I'm in the wrong mindset, that can throw me off is kissing. And so, like, we were on a cruise once, and she just stopped in the middle and came over. She's like, hey, I'm going to go make out with him. Are you okay with that? Just having that, like, okay, cool. Because she knows if I would turn around and I'm not in the right mindset, it's kind of one of those,
oh shit, yeah.
so this is what
Oh
we're
shit
doing.
moment. Yeah.
It's that respect for your partner. You know what I mean? Like when she came to me and was like, hey, this is great. I'm going to back this down. Like, I'm not questioning it. I'm not, there's no resistance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, you're my number one. Like, okay, like, I want you to feel extremely comfortable.
Yeah, and your partner always has to be your number one priority. And
Agreed.
if we go out for the night or we're doing something and I'm like, yeah, let's go play, but Eric is like, I'm not feeling it tonight, then we're going to respect the fact that he's not there, and I'm not going to do that because his feelings matter way more to me than, going out for the lifestyle. Like, it's not, I don't need this lifestyle. It's just something hot and fun we do together.
Right. So if you go with a couple, like you're going out, you're hanging out, you're making connections and stuff like that, then you're like, okay, let's go. You call it spicy time, I think you said. So we're gonna go back and kind of spice things up.
Yeah, spicy.
Now you get to their house and everybody's naked, everybody's making out, having fun, and you have your boundaries and stuff set. Well, what if the boundaries change in the midst of that? How do you guys address that? Like if they're gonna go do these things, but then in the heat of the moment, like, yeah, I don't want to do that. So what does that do to the scenario or the vibe, if you will?
The first time it happens, you have no idea what the fuck is going on, and you're like, "Oh shit!" And then it's the worst. It's the worst feeling in the world because it's like, "Oh God, what do I do?"
Well, and you don't want to be the asshole and make
Yeah.
this big deal in front of everybody. So you're like, do I just go along with this right now? Yeah.
Gotcha.
And so it's a very big learning experience the first time it ever happens. And
And it's happened to us.
and it's happened to us. And we have not had it happen again. I will say if it happened again, I would have no problem being
Nope.
the ADHD person I am, whatever, just being like, no, we're stopping right here. I am not comfortable with this. I'll make it very vocal.
Yeah, if somebody did something, and I think a lot of that is your journey. Like our journey is so different now, and we're so much more secure with ourselves and the lifestyle, our relationship, all of that than we were years ago. That I think I have a lot more. I don't feel like I owe anybody anything. I don't owe anybody my body. I don't care if we're already naked in bed. I don't owe you anything.
That's cool.
And so if I want to stop, I'm going to stop.
Nice.
And I feel like that's something you get more comfortable with and like learn that you can do. I don't know. You just get more comfortable over time and just get, more confident, I guess.
Yeah, no, because it's a respect thing. If somebody didn't respect what I said I'm not for.
Right.
Like, I don't want to do this. Like, this is part of the fun is going in and just having fun. You know what I mean? I don't need to go in and.
Yeah. And it did happen to us one time. Everybody, there was a lot of alcohol involved, and that could be the other scary thing. And Eric doesn't drink at all. Eric's been sober for.
I'm sober. So I've been sober since 7/25/17.
Yeah. And
I've been sober for 21 years.
But
nice job.
Around him isn't sober and boundaries are being crossed. That can be very challenging for him because he is witnessing what's going on, but you also can't reason with drunk people.
True.
So I don't drink very much at all, and I don't really drink when we play. Like I might have like one or two sometimes, but I don't really drink either.
Yeah, and when you find people that are newer to the lifestyle, you'll find that they do drink a lot more just because you're nervous. I mean, when's the last time you ever went to an event or a club literally with the intentions that we might possibly go fuck somebody else?
And you're nervous. So of course you're like, I need a drink. Oh no. Like, I mean, there are still times like we just went to an event this past weekend in Arizona and I just got a little overwhelmed. There was a lot going on. I was like, you know what? I need a drink. I need a drink. So yeah. But Eric's really good at sober. He doesn't care.
No. It becomes overwhelming and stuff like that, but
yeah, but like if everyone's pretty like toasted and it's like midnight, that's when you're just like, okay, everyone's pretty drunk. We're over it. We'll leave. But
so here's the so like my wife and I have been married for 30 years, and the connection and love that we have, it's I mean our sex life's amazing, all that kind of stuff. And I'm not just saying that because you're on the show, because we truly love each other. It's been a honeymoon for our entire 30 years, aside from some rocky points, but. So just our life in general is fantastic. Thank you. So we're real good communicators. We never really argue. Part of that is because I stopped drinking 21 years ago, and that's made our relationship that much stronger. How do you keep that kind of that sex kind of with the other people out of your life? Like, I don't know if I asked that right, but like, so you have your connection that's deeply rooted and bonded, and you're secure and safe. So then you go do the full thing. So obviously, you're not falling in love with them. It's more of an adventure. It's like an extension of the sex life. Is there anything that ever gets in your head that kind of fucks with that? Like as far as relationship wise, or does it bleed into your sex life aside from what you talked about earlier? Like, oh, I remember that move. I should do that again. Or is it just, you just have the ability because the boundaries are in place just to kind of separate that? Like this is playtime. Did I answer that? Why?
We did a whole podcast, our own podcast about how it can. What was that podcast called? Where we talked about how it can make you push the limits kind of with the lifestyle. So sometimes it doesn't make your own sex life a little boring.
Okay.
And how you kind of keep your own spice alive, because again, if you're pushing the limits and doing all these hot things or talking about these hot things, but then you're having just kind of like your vanilla basic sex with your partner. We did do a podcast about that. There can be challenges sometimes where you feel like you have to kind of almost like even vocally keep pushing the limits.
You kind of get yourself sometimes, if you play too much, you get numb to it almost, to a sense that you have to get it more extreme, and the fantasies have to get deeper.
More, yeah. You're
more.
like, what else can I do? What else is hot?
Because it's just you almost have trouble, and it's like you almost have to just kind of step away, reset yourself, let all these levels come back down.
The dopamine balance back out.
And really reconnect with your partner on that level, because it can. I mean, you kind of get swept away sometimes in this lifestyle, because it's one of those things we all like attention, and you're getting all this attention, and you've had this hot experience, and you're thinking about it in your head, and then you're with your partner thinking about this, and now let's try this, and all of a sudden sex with your partner, it's not that it's not enough, it's just, it's kind of like if you watch porn too much. If you're watching too much porn, you're going to have trouble having sex with your partner. You have to almost reset your brain.
Like an addiction.
Okay.
Where with this, you kind of have to reset yourself.
Right. Okay. So that goes back to when you guys are typically like once a month or so, but even though it's March 20th, you've only had two adventures.
Yeah, we went on a cruise, and we played with a couple on the cruise, which again, we were on a cruise, so we had the intention that was going to happen. And then we actually just did this last weekend. We didn't go into the weekend with like, oh, we have to. It was just kind of like, if we meet somebody at the club and it happens, and it did, and it was so fun. But again, it's not something even at home that we're really, you know, I'm on apps at home. I own an app, obviously. But it's not like we're looking for every weekend. We're kind of just, we keep our home life and our like intimate life like very like important, and make sure we're focusing on that. We date each other, just like that. I mean, you know, even when you're monogamous, it's like make sure you're dating each other, make sure you're trying new things with each other.
Because there's nothing worse than when you're in this lifestyle, and it's amazing, because you do get a lot of people that'll reach out to you, and they're like, it's almost like they have to have this, and if they don't have this, they have no other hobbies almost together. And you know, there's even times with my wife that if we get too much, you know, because we're both ADHD, you can get sucked into this. It's this hot. You literally, that attention, you're
then you crash.
And it's like, out of the point that the worst feeling in the world is when you're sitting next to your partner and you're like, fuck, I actually miss you. Like, I miss you. Like, can we go do something together? And it's that almost aha moment, like, hey, we've got a little too much here. Let's go spend time together. Or
well, then you get the high from each other because you miss it, and you miss like. Yeah, I don't know. We haven't struggled too much with it being an issue. We just know that, like, we've had the conversations about how we can see sometimes if you get, like, kind of on a high. But I don't think it's really affected our personal sex life, like, in a negative way. If anything, we're like, oh, my God, remember we did that last weekend? It was so, you can, like, talk about it. There's a lot of pillow talk and, like, talk about it.
Okay. Has anybody ever caught feelings for you guys while in the dynamic?
Well, obviously, I'm just kidding.
That's
they all love me.
Is you don't really go into it like to catch feelings. Like, you have to hit like different levels. Sex to me isn't love. Like, sex is sex. It's fun. It's enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why, I mean, if you're in group chats and you're spending a lot of time communicating, this is why Eric and I only do group chats. I'm not just communicating with a bunch of men without Eric. He's not communicating with a bunch of women without me. You're not giving your, like, we have group chats and we'll talk to couples and stuff, but it's not like a everyday, you're not giving these people your like emotions. And we have some that have become very, very good friends, but not something. Eric and I don't like a lot of people.
And we're very much on the same page with a lot of things. Like one of the things that will drive us both.
They'll just annoy us if we talk to them.
Like it's funny because, again, everybody gets in this lifestyle for different reasons, and not everybody's the same as us, and our way isn't necessarily the right way. But we're 100% pretty much, I would have to say, like the same when it comes to stuff like this. Like, if a girl texted me outside our group chat and she was like, hey, good morning, handsome, and sent me some casual picture of her like topless in bed, little selfie, just to me, that's going to piss her the fuck off.
Oh, that's crossing the line. That's completely inappropriate.
And with me, it's actually going to piss me off because I'm like, we're not, this is something you do when you're dating. This is something you do.
I can see that.
We're done. Like, my wife is showing this, we're out. You guys fix whatever's going on. And if that's how you have to be in this lifestyle, then we're also not the right vibe for you, which is okay. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I always say, people like, oh, well, it can happen. What if a girl starts doing that to him and Eric starts talking to him? Eric is going to do that whether we're monogamous or not if he wants to. I can't tell Eric not to talk to women. He will regardless if he wants to. And so I'm confident enough, I think, in our relationship and myself that if Eric's going to go start talking to other women behind, because people are like, what if he leaves you? I'm like, well, then he leaves. Bye. He would leave me regardless. I don't know.
Makes
You
sense.
have to be such a confident person with yourself.
Yeah.
Lifestyle is not, we've learned this a lot over the years. The lifestyle is not just a journey together. It is an extremely personal journey of growth. You
Sure.
learn a lot about yourself
Sounds like
and confidence and things you'll tolerate, and just it takes a lot. You do a lot of because you'll have jealousy issues come up, you'll have relationship issues, and you do a lot of like personal growth as well
And you learn, I mean, and that's where you become closer as a couple. You really learn to
about yourself.
about yourself, but you also start learning how to communicate. Like I'm the worst at it. Like when I'm talking, I'll want to explain to her how I'm feeling, and I'll end up I'll be like, well, you did that. Well, all of a sudden I use the word you, and now I'm attacking her, which isn't,
Right.
you know what I mean? So
Yeah,
you start to really learn, like, okay, how do I
Yeah.
communicate my feelings? And I never learned that in any of my other relationships ever. You know what I mean?
You hit a lot, and there's so many people that hide things from their partners or hide their sexual desires. They hide things they're thinking about, and again, just the more you're like being so open with all these things, that it's the most like normal, healthy relationship I've ever been in, because I don't feel
That's
like I have
awesome.
to hide anything.
Yeah, there's nothing I couldn't come to my wife and be like, hey, I want to try this. That she would look at me and be like, oh, that's gross, or I don't want to do that.
Well,
You know?
it could be
It could be gross.
depending
Yeah,
on what it was.
depending on what it is.
I have some boundaries.
We have you know, there are a few things, but a majority of the things, you know, you're like, oh, okay, well, like, hey, maybe we talk more about this, and maybe talk about maybe exploring it or whatever.
Yeah. Cool.
Where in a monogamous relationship, you're just like, you're afraid to sometimes just go to your partner and want to switch it up or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
like I have friends that have horrible communication with their partners, and I have friends that have even like had sex toys and had to hide those from their partner because they were afraid their husbands would get jealous or upset that they had like a sex toy, and I'm just like,
Well, I
That's
think
crazy.
that's
What?
the norm.
Yeah, Mike.
That's
yeah,
what's so
seriously.
Yeah,
odd
it is.
about this whole conversation for most people is that's the norm.
Yeah.
and they don't open up like, oh, I want to try a different position, or and it's just like, you can't say that to and I'm not saying, this is definitely stuff that I've learned over the years. I mean, I've been in relationships that I haven't been. I mean, I've been in not horrible sexual relationships.
Right.
I mean, you've been in some that you felt like you had to like.
Yeah, I've been in some.
Well, Eric
relationships
cheated on his ex. So.
where you know, you just don't. You get to the point where you almost don't vocalize what you want. You know. And it's amazing when you really reflect back at like past relationships eventually, and you're like, wow, it was even those relationships that maybe you blame the other person, you really realize after being in this lifestyle how bad your communication is.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
And like how bad you are at being open.
Yeah. You have any questions, Mike? I've been kind of hoarding all the questions because it just keeps giving me things to ask.
No, you're fine, man. That's
Okay, we'll just keep talking too. We're like,
I think that's the key, is that lifestyle is not going to be for everyone, obviously, but your guys' message of communication is what people should take away from it. Is very few people talk about what happens behind closed doors, even amongst themselves.
Yeah, and you also you become so narrow-minded of just your relationship and forget what reality is almost out there.
yeah.
And some of the DMs and stuff that we get even just shock me.
Yeah,
and
people will send us messages that like, oh, my husband did this, or my partner did this behind my back, and I'm just like, call your lawyer, man. I just have zero tolerance. I have a very zero tolerance for like bullshit and drama, and I think you kind of have to have that mentality. And people do ask us a lot, what if one of you wanted to quit, or what if this just ended tomorrow? And I'm like, okay, like I have a business, and so of course I think I'll always be a little bit like involved in the world. And again, for me, also liking girls, I think if Eric was like, I don't want to do this anymore, I would be a little sad. Like I wouldn't really, I don't know if I could give up women. Just sometimes. Yeah. But like even like men, like I sometimes, like I said, I could take it or leave it. It's more, it's just, to me, it's more like the experience as a whole. It's not just sex. And I would say for me personally, it's not even like the sex is my favorite part of the whole thing. It's like the fun flirting and meeting new people, and like you find someone's telling you you're beautiful, and so you're getting that kind of like
so there's a question.
Dopamine or like a
so there's the question. Like obviously you both are super attracted to one another. You find each other sexy and gorgeous and beautiful and handsome, all that kind of jazz. So when you have somebody outside of you two that they're for lack of a better term, they're eye fucking you, and they're casually touching you and they're flirting with you. That has to be kind of a rush as well, because like I can tell my wife all day long, she's gorgeous, she's beautiful, and all that kind of jazz. And a couple months ago, we were at a friend's birthday party, and we were playing pool, and this guy just walked straight up to her and oh, you're cutest, whatever, or you're hot, or something like that. Which part of me was like, motherfucker, but the other part of me was like, well, yeah, she is hot. She
And
wants
tell her that. I want her to be
Right. So
No, Eric
from
also
that,
says that.
yeah.
No,
So that's part of. Go ahead.
No, it hits differently. I mean, I can tell her all the time, and she gets annoyed with it sometimes. Where I'm just like, "Oh, you're hot and you're beautiful," and
shut up.
And you see those reels out there and stuff where the wife's in like pajamas or whatever, and face mask on, and the husband's like, "Oh, you're hot," That is me. I like.
Yeah.
But when somebody else says it to her, it's like, oh, it's not expected like it is from your partner. Same with me. When a girl like whispers in my ear that she's excited about this or that she's really turned on, it hits different.
Yeah.
Because my wife's supposed to say this, and now I have somebody I don't really know really excited about this. Like, oh.
Well, and then it kind of reminds you, even like, of course, there's a little bit of jealousy that you're like, don't look at my man, but like also, yeah, appreciate him, you're welcome, type of like I'll share, but he's still mine at the end of the day.
Right, but if you're all
Like,
naked
there's
in
a
the
little bit
same
of that.
room,
Like,
you
it's
kind of
almost
have
like
to.
like a
That
little
comes
bit of,
with it, though.
sadistic
Right.
jealousy.
Right.
You want
But if
someone to find your partner hot, and you're like, yeah, I know, but he's mine.
Right, but if it's in the
Don't look too
dynamic
much.
of date night with another couple, that's to be expected, because you expect
Yeah.
the female to be attracted to
when we go
Eric,
to
and you
a club,
expect them.
another
Right,
couple,
right,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, I like it, but I always joke if like in the vanilla world, or like somebody who was monogamous, like a single girl, not in the lifestyle, tells like Eric will be on like a live on his TikTok, not his lifestyle one, his other platform. Someone will be like, "Oh, you have pretty eyes," and I'll be like, "Bitch, don't talk to him." No, don't.
People be like, "Oh, are you single?" And she's like, "No, he's not." And I'll even be like, "I'm not."
I'll be like, "Don't talk to him. Don't look at him."
That's
But
funny.
if it's in like a lifestyle setting, and I'm like, it's so funny how your mentality will change. I'm like, don't flirt with him unless I said you can. Like, yeah, there's definitely that like little bit of like possession that you have, which makes it kind of fun, because then you're like, you are, and almost like then you're like, oh, I'm reminded. And you're like, yeah, people do find you hot.
Yeah,
Yes, you
well,
are.
yeah. I mean,
Just kidding.
I think that's the whole point, right? You guys are hot.
Yeah.
You're having naked fun with other hot people, they're on the same page, and it's an adventure you're sharing, which again is just part of your life story. And you're all adults, and nobody's getting hurt.
It's also
Nobody's
hard to
getting
find other
killed.
people you're attracted to.
I could see that.
Yeah, it's very
Especially-
hard. We definitely
Yeah.
struggle with.
It's hard. You have the right to be picky.
Very.
And that's the other thing that people are a huge misconception that everybody's doing everybody in this lifestyle. No,
Right.
Everybody's picky as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Well, not everybody.
and not everybody, but even like with us, like we're picky, and we have the right to be picky. I don't want to. It's amazing how you'll see some people. They're like, well, if they really like you, find you attractive, I shouldn't do shit.
Yeah. We've had people. We made a whole post the other day about. Someone said, "Oh, you're not attracted to somebody." I'm like, "Well, then I'm not going to do it." I mean, yeah, I want to get to know somebody a little bit, but personality can make attraction grow.
Oh,
but if
sure.
I'm not physically attracted to somebody, like, I'm sorry. And somebody said, "Oh, are you guys so shallow you won't get to know people?" And I was like, I don't think being picky about wanting to only sleep with people that you're physically attracted to isn't shallow.
You're right.
No.
And,
No,
and
I mean,
so,
it
is. It's one of those that you have the right to be picky, and
you're picky-
people
you're
are
picky-
afraid of rejection, and you don't have to be asshole about rejecting people.
No, but you're picky because you found
What?
each other. So you both had
Okay,
a certain
but-
type you liked, right? This has a certain type that you're attracted to. So obviously, on the path of you finding each other, you were turning down people along that
Yeah.
path because, again, you have the right to be picky. You're bringing somebody into
yeah,
the
Eric's like,
most
why would
intimate
I
part
sleep
of
with
your
some-
world, right? You're bringing somebody into the most intimate part of your life. So why not be picky?
And you don't owe. And I think so many people, when they're new, you do not owe. People are like, oh, I get all these messages or people reach out. You don't owe anybody shit.
Mm-mm.
Like, I'm a very kind person. I'll talk to people, and I'm not saying I'm going to be rude, but
Right.
I do not owe anybody a conversation, my body. I don't owe you anything unless it's
Agreed.
like a hell fucking yeah, this is gonna be super fun.
Right.
I don't have to share any part of myself with you.
Right. See, if Captain Jack showed up
Yeah,
my
and I
front
think a
door
lot of
right
people
now, then
forget that. I guess it's a little.
yeah. If Captain Jack showed up my front door right now, my wife would be all game, because it's Captain Jack Sparrow, right? But if Johnny Depp showed up, she'd be like, yeah, I don't think so. She's giving me
Yeah,
the
well,
eye.
and that's Eric's always like, I'm not going to do something that's not like a fair trade. Like,
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't want to do something, get done with it, and feel gross that I did it. That's not
Yeah,
the whole point of
oh,
this
good point.
lifestyle. I want to get
Yeah.
done with it and be like, okay, that was hot.
yeah, like this is just
Fair
supposed to be
point.
hot fun, not like.
Yeah.
And that's what,
We don't need a body count. Eric and I have been single. We've slept around. We've done.
Yeah.
We had fun in college in our younger years. We're not like just trying to get a body count, which some
Yeah,
people in the
yeah.
lifestyle are. Some
which
people,
is fine.
yes, but
Mhm.
it's definitely like, and you'll find different dynamics.
Mm.
But we definitely don't feel like it's not for us. It's not that way. But there are people again who have been married or together since high school, have never been with anybody else. We meet, people like that, and
Yeah.
they're really wanting to kind of explore new things, which is
Right.
great for them. But sometimes you'll see people just have a little bit. They'll just go a little crazy.
Yeah. I can see that. Mike, got anything?
We meet a lot of ex-Mormons in this lifestyle.
Oh, we'll save that for another show.
Yeah.
No, I just found the
Anything,
whole
Mike?
thing fascinating.
Okay.
I really did.
Okay. So impulsiveduo.com.
No, it is one of
where
those
you
things
find
that's
these guys.
fascinating, especially if you're not in
Yeah.
it. It doesn't make sense. And I think
Yeah.
things that don't make sense can become very fascinating. And then when you hear this logical standpoint that is almost more about connection with your partner than it is sex with others,
Right.
it almost makes it more confusing.
Yeah, they're like,
Okay.
wait, that's actually not
Absolutely.
that weird. Yeah, you're like, that actually sounds fun. Maybe we turn people swingers. That's our goal, is to turn people
Yeah.
into swingers.
Or just
Well,
make
I-
them talk about what happens behind closed doors. Have those conversations.
Right. So one thing you said in the beginning of the show,
Exactly.
which I was fascinated by, because Mike and I have talked about divorce rates before. The average couple is married 3 to 5 years, and so we had Steph Conger on. I don't know if you know who she is, but she's a sex therapist, super cool lady. And when you hit that 3-year mark for newlyweds, and all of a sudden the newness is gone. So then they spend the next 2 years trying to find that newness again. They can't find that newness, so they just fight and argue and blah blah blah. And then all of a sudden that's the divorce. And so you have, female couples that get married have the highest divorce rate in the country, which is ironic. Then you have the male-female couples have their divorce rate. But you made reference that people in this lifestyle, the divorce rate's a lot smaller than it is. And that goes back to, I think, everything we talked about with communication and sharing and openness and being vulnerable and breaking down those taboo barriers that society has just thrown upon us our entire lives, right? So in your experience in doing this, and you weren't across couples like yourself, are they all just, I know I can't say all, but I mean the majority of them like happy, healthy, really strong relationships, grounded and in love, and this is just an extension of fun? Is that a good way to ask that question? Does that make sense?
Some are, some aren't. I mean, when you
Okay.
meet a volume of people, the people who've been in this lifestyle for a while, and we
Okay.
have really good experiences, because one of the things we look for is, how does this couple interact with each other, and how are they towards each
Yeah.
other?
They have to be in love with each
Oh.
other. They have to be.
Oh,
I don't
cool.
want a man who's just after me. He has to also be very like, is my wife
Nice.
beautiful? Is my wife wonderful? Like,
Oh,
very
right on.
into each
That's cool.
other as well.
That
It's
is cool.
huge green flag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you do see a lot of couples that are in this to try and fix their marriage,
Yeah.
or for whatever reason, and you can just tell the red flags because they're not on the same page when you're talking to them. Their views are very different of the life, and you're like, dude, you guys have you obviously need to just go sit in a room and discuss what you guys want.
Yeah, maybe therapy
Um,
first.
yeah,
We
Gotcha,
definitely
gotcha,
run into a few
gotcha.
couples that were like, red flag.
Yeah, this is not a lifestyle for you. People will ask,
You're not ready.
have you had play experiences? Because this does happen. Play experience where a fight breaks out, or a couple starts, having issues in the middle of playing with each other. And we're like, no, this doesn't happen with us because we're really good about who we connect with.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, we take some time to get to know people, and even like for example, I mean, I'll be honest, we played with a couple this weekend, and they've been to some clubs and they've kind of been dabbling in the lifestyle, but it was their first time, like
Oh,
full swapping,
nice.
and they're called newbies. People call them newbies, and
Okay.
they're like, how do people who have experience feel about playing with people who are new? Because
Okay.
I'm like, you don't know how you're going to feel about. You might think the lifestyle sounds super great and hot, but until you see your partner with somebody else,
Oh,
you don't know how you're
yeah.
gonna feel. And
Great.
so I think as long as there is, you can tell if a couple is communicating with each other and they're ready and they're,
Yeah.
they've discussed it all and they're really open about their boundaries. And I don't know, you
Yeah.
can kind of tell. But we've definitely
Okay.
met some couples who there's a lot of sneakiness going on and not, you can
Yeah,
just tell
that's
they're
no good.
not.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's like, why are you doing this? Or what?
So the couple that you would connect with would be kind of mirror your image, like they're very much in love. They know their boundaries. They understand why they're there, what they're there for. If anything does happen, and where it happens, and how it happens, you see that love.
Yeah.
It's like a mirror. So you love the fact they're in love just as much as they should love the fact that you're in love.
Yes.
And this is just
Yeah.
an adventure
I
four loving people are going
want
to
to
share.
be with a couple.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
I don't want to be with a guy who is more into me than he is into his wife. That makes me uncomfortable.
That
makes me
totally
uncomfortable
makes
for
sense.
Eric, that
Yeah.
makes me uncomfortable for his wife. That's like weird.
And then even vice versa. I mean, there's nothing worse than where you're playing with the wife and she's all into it, and then you realize that the husband's not into it, and you're like, oh no. Because even as a guy, that makes you awkward. You're like, this is supposed to be fun for all of us, you know?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
super awkward.
Yeah, that would be awkward. That would be awkward. Crazy.
Yeah, we've definitely met some couples, or like the guy will just start sending like me a bunch of pictures, or like, and Eric, we were in one group chat, and one guy's like, oh, I can't wait to do all this stuff to you, Candace, and Eric was like, okay, bro, like my wife doesn't need all your dick pics, and like it was just like it's just like a turn off. It's like I don't.
Right.
And also, there's a lot of people who are really like, of course, this is about sex. That's what the lifestyle is.
Sure.
But when it's like every single conversation is like immature sexual innuendos and let me see your titties and like Titty Tuesday, like that's just, I'm like, I'm
Stupid.
40. Like
Right. We're not in high school anymore or junior high. Like, let's go. Let's move
I don't
on.
need,
Yeah.
like it's such a turn off for me. And
You
we
need
run
to-
into that a lot. Again,
Well,
maybe
maturity is
I-
sexy, maturity, it's sexy,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
The
So
older
you
you are,
just
the
find
wiser
people you
are.
vibe with, and some people might like
Yeah.
that, and they might vibe. But you call it a vibe
Yeah.
check. Like if you're not on the same
Vibe
level
check,
and you're
cool.
not vibing with the people, then
Right on.
it's a no.
Vibe check. All right, cool. So the impulsiveduo.com is where you find you guys, Eric and Candace. They're super cool people. You can also find them on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. And you're on Twitter?
Yeah, everything is the Impulsive Duo. Unicorn
Okay.
Landing move.
Unicorn Landing.
You
Yeah,
guys
Unicorn Landing is.
he's hiding
yeah,
the banner. You have a Unicorn Landing. I collect unicorn
Yeah.
things. If you can't
Yeah,
tell.
I see that. So Unicorn Landing is an
This
app.
isn't a
It's all
child's
about.
room.
Right.
I
No.
promise.
Unicorn
We've
Landing is
had
an app
people
that helps.
ask us that if this is a room.
Oh, I bet, because there's lots of unicorns. So Unicorn Landing is an app that's for women, by women, powered by women. We lost them. They'll come right back. There they are. So that's a good app if you want to check this lifestyle out. Go Unicorn Landing on all the app stores. And again,
Yes.
impulsiveduo.com. They will mentor you, and they have a podcast. They have all kinds of things to do on social media. It's how I stumbled across them. It just came up in a feed one day, and I was instantly hooked just because the dynamic of the conversation, what you share, and I just thought it was fascinating, which is why you're here now, which is fantastic. So go find out,
Thank
go
you.
follow them on our social medias and things like that. Go check out their podcasts. You'll learn, what I've got the most out of this thing is it's not just about sex, it's about connection. It's about adventure. It's about understanding your spouse and the communication and the boundaries that you set. And it just kind of enhances your
And
life.
that's why we
whether you
call
do
it a
anything or not.
lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
kind of, we
It's
call
more
it a
of
lifestyle, like a lifestyle
Yeah.
umbrella. It's the lifestyle that you live. Like,
Yeah.
it's more than just like,
Yeah.
we're more than just swingers. It's like
Yeah.
yeah.
And we meet people that just go to clubs just for the events, and they don't even do
Yeah.
anything with other people. That's why,
Yeah.
there's an app out there too that we do a lot with called Upside Down Network. That is
Okay.
all the lifestyle events out there. So if you
Oh, okay.
travel or if you want cruises,
Right.
It's one of the best things to do is, when you travel, to try and find what's going on in the car. So if you have an app that tells you, that's awesome.
Okay. That's cool.
But also, like, the best learning you're ever going to have is going to a swinger lifestyle club, not playing with anyone, just seeing what happens. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's not what
see
you
how you
think,
feel in the
and you're like,
environment.
holy
Yeah,
cow,
you don't
people
have
are
to
nice.
play.
Yeah.
People watch.
You should go to one. It's
Yeah,
you don't have to touch anyone.
Yeah.
It's actually just a really fun experience because people are really friendly.
Yeah.
And just because they're friendly doesn't mean they want to fuck you.
Right.
They might.
Agreed.
They might,
Okay.
but it doesn't necessarily mean.
So people watching at its finest. That's awesome. All right. Well, for the Chris and Mike show, I'm Chris. He's Mike. Again, this is the Pineapple Refresher / Impulsive Duo. Find them at impulsiveduo.com. If you are thinking about suicide or depressed or just not in the right mindset, don't do anything drastic that's going to change somebody else's life and leave a hole in their heart. Go outside and run. Go journal. Go scream in a pillow. Go work out. Go find somebody to talk to. If you can't find somebody to talk to, text 988. Somebody's there to help talk you off the cliff and make sure you're around tomorrow, because tomorrow is a better day with you in it. With that being said, I'm Chris. He's Mike. Love you, brother. Thank you so much, Eric and Candace, for coming on the show. You guys were fantastic. Anytime you want to come back on and share adventures and things like that, we're more than welcome. You're more than welcome to come back and have another conversation with us, because you guys have been great. It's like, time just flies by.
So why do you? I'm really curious.
Yeah.
I know that this is part of. I'm assuming this is a part of the podcast now.
Okay.
Are we done?
We're still live.
Oh.
Do you want me to stop?
We can stop.
Oh no! I was going to ask you some questions on the suicide stuff, because I'm always
go ahead.
a little intrigued when somebody brings something up like that.
We had our drummer kill himself.
No, I was just curious to where that came from for you.
Well, that's where our drummer killed himself years ago. Okay. I had a friend of mine about a year ago kill himself. It's one of those things that I kind of think, and I think Mike's on the same page. Suicide is a coward's way out. You don't. If you don't talk, you can't solve the problem. So by hiding your concerns and not talking about what you struggles with, it's just, to me, it sucks, because you truly leave a hole in someone else's heart. Our drummer left 3 kids behind, and they have to go their entire life without a father because he decided to take his own life because he was struggling. So it's just something we
suffer, the people that are left behind, for sure.
Yeah. The reason it started ending the show like that was an homage to Scott.
Semicolon tattoo.
Okay. Oh, there you go. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we did it as we do it as just because it affected Mike and I's band, and it's somebody that we knew, and when you're in a band.
Oh, I love that.
When you're in a band,
Well, we can finish the conversation after, but Eric can tell you about his other stuff.
Yeah, but when you're in a band, it's like a marriage, but you're married to everybody in the band.
Oh yeah.
The time you share on stage,
for sure.
You never get back. Right. So that connection is deeper than it's there till the day you die. Like, you could walk up to somebody that you haven't seen in 30 years, but you're in a band together, and you're instant, because you shared time on stage and you shared time in front of people and making music and making joy. And so that's how that all evolved. That's how it all started. So there you go.
That's
all
awesome.
right, you can send this way now, Mike.
Eric can tell you his story.
Okay,
Wait,
hold on.